You're watching DBS.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Line and Length in association with C.O. Williams Construction. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, I'm so happy today to welcome back to Barbados the West Indies and Barbados all-rounder, Jason Holder. He's going to kick things off for us today on Line and Length. Jason, thank you so much. You're back home playing cricket now for your club, the Wonders Cricket Club. It's good to see you. The first question I must ask you, what have you been doing? Because it's been a long break. Long time we haven't seen Jason Holder.
Yeah, I had a few things going on with my body, so I just try to rehab a lot. I've been doing some strength work in the gym as well too. I'm just trying to get my body back to, where I feel as though it's meant to be. And then also doing some technical work. I've been doing some technical work hard every day, hard for the last couple of weeks, and I think it's been really, really good. So looking forward to seeing the results, hopefully in the games to come.
Jason, seeing you play for Lucknow in the Indian Premier League, you seem a little jaded. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I guess it's pretty fair. It's been a lot of cricket over the last couple of years, and I've practically been going from tournament to tournament. I felt after the IPL, and I was just mentally and physically drained. I felt that time was the best time to take some time off and just really spend some time for myself and try to get myself back into full flow and full shape. It was a hard decision to make, but I felt it was the right decision at that time.
In terms now of making yourself available for selection for the West Indies, they're playing against India coming up in just a couple of weeks. What's your availability like?
I'll be available for selection for the next tour. It's been a good time off, as I said before. And really good. I had time to spend and work on my game. I really wanted to spend some time to work on a few things, and I feel as though I've accomplished that. So looking forward to getting back out there and represent the West Indies. And it's going to be a hectic year to come. There's quite a bit of cricket to be played, and there's obviously a World Cup at the end of the year as well too. So looking forward to that.
How are you feeling about your game now, Jason? I mean, are you still hungry to play Test cricket? Are you still hungry to play for the West Indies?
Yeah, still hungry to play Test cricket. I think it's still my favourite format. I think at this stage in my career now, it's a tough one. It's one that I probably will start to look at myself a little bit more, and just my future in terms of not only cricket but life after cricket. One of the things I want to do as well too is play a little bit more T20 cricket, enter a few more leagues as well too, and just try to maximise as much as I possibly can, earning wise in terms of my cricket. And then obviously still playing for West Indies as much as I possibly can. Again, I don't want to give up Test cricket. I love it. And that's something I'm fully committed to continue to play.
Well, it's funny you say that because the West Indies are not playing any more Test cricket until the end of the year in Australia. What's your next big assignment after the CPL?
I don't really want to let the cat out of the bag now, but yeah, there are a few things on the horizon. Now it depends too on availability. As I said, there's quite a bit of cricket to be played now between now and the end of the year, and we'll see what windows of opportunity I could have to possibly play in a few more leagues. But if not, I'll just continue playing for West Indies and I'll close out the year and then look towards next year.
Jason, you're one of the world's top all-rounders. How do you feel now about West Indies cricket and the state of our game?
Look, I think we're still in a developing stage. We've still got a lot of young players. I think the key component for us is just to get some consistent cricket under our belts. For our younger players to understand what it takes to play at international level, adapt, and then for the senior guys in the dressing room to help pull them along. Again, there are not many senior players, particularly in the white ball version. There are a few guys who've been around, but technically speaking, when you look at the games played, they haven't really surpassed maybe 50, 60 ODIs. So it's just a matter for us to blend with the old and the young. And just make sure that we're heading in the right direction. I still think batting is obviously a massive concern for us, and obviously bowling as well. So particularly in the back half and finishing off games, but I'm being a little bit more penetrative. In the middle phases of the game. So still a long way to go, but I think we've just got to make some tough decisions in terms of know, the direction we want to go, the style of cricket we want to play, and just make sure that, you know, whatever we're doing, that we're all on board. And when I say all on board, it's from a administrative side straight down to the players.
Your very good friend Craig Brathwaite seems to be skipping the team well. How do you feel about his captaincy?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I obviously was part of the England Test series, which is a really good result for us in the end. Looking at the Bangladesh series, again, I honestly didn't watch much of it, but seeing the results is obviously good to beat them. And it's good to win cricket games. I don't care who you're playing against. International cricket is international cricket. So, you know, all the oppositions are worthy of being international players. So it's been good to see the progress. I still would like to see a bit more guys getting bigger scores, you know, being a little bit more hungry to go big. And I think once we have that hunger, you know, in the dressing room, it will spread. You know, I think once that spreads, then we got a really good atmosphere and culture in the dressing room.
Jason, let's talk a little bit about the England cricket team. The West Indies beat them months ago, 1-0 in the Caribbean. But all of a sudden, they seem to be world beaters. They defeated New Zealand, and they've also defeated India in test matches that were incredible. Do you think their rise has surprised you somewhat?
I wouldn't say a rise, man. They've obviously just had two good series. You know, again, they're a long way off, man. They're still in a transitionary phase as well too. They're still struggling with some key components in their game. Yeah, they play some really good cricket against both New Zealand and India. But again, I think the harder questions will be asked as time goes on. They're still pretty new into that kind of quote unquote new era with McCullum and Stokes, and they'll have their challenges. You know, it's just how they rebound from the challenges or how they work through them. You know, and that will just test the character of the side. So, yeah, well done to them. I think they've definitely brought a new perspective as to how you can possibly go about playing Test cricket and moving the game along. I personally believe that's the way international cricket will go, particularly in the longer formats as well too. I think the whole spectrum now of T10 and T20 cricket will speed up 4-day and Test cricket, and I think is something that teams will quickly grasp. Not many Test matches are still going into 5 days, so look, I think it's good, it's exciting, and I think it's something that is needed to give Test cricket a bit of a lift, and hopefully a few teams can cash on, and when they have, you know, conditions that are in their favour that they can push the game along, I think that's the best way to go about it.
All right, thanks so much, Jason Holder. We'll be right back with much more on Line and Length. Presenting Calvin Alkins Custom Services, bringing you over 25 years of experience in the business, offering top quality customs brokerage and logistics services to facilitate the needs of importers and exporters doing business in Barbados with shipments worldwide via our partner Kestrel.com. Sea freight, air freight, freight logistics and consolidation. Friendly staff based in Barbados and unbeatable professionalism. Calvin Alkins Custom Services. From anywhere in the world to your door, we get the package to you.
I'm your host, Andrew Seeley, and joining us today, our former West Indies batting coach, Toby Radford, and he's just put out a book called Getting to Grips. Toby, what are we getting to grips with?
Getting to Grips, it's a play on words. It's a batting coaching book that I've written over the past couple of years, and it's really sort of designed to help players and to help coaches. It's a little bit different. It's quite visual. So yes, there are words in it, but there's a lot of images in it of me analysing world's best players and really breaking it down into what I think are the key fundamentals of what makes, you know, top batters, what makes the best batters that they are. And in doing all my analysis over the years, I think as a West Indies coach, working with some of the world's best players and playing against some of the world's best players, I think it's enabled me to, you know, be quite, precise, I think, in what makes them the best players. You know, 4 or 5 key things that they all tend to do, and it's within the book.
Okay, you talk about 4 or 5 key things. without giving us any secrets so people don't decide to buy the book, tell us what are those 4 or 5 key things or key areas that you're talking about.
Well, the world's best batsman, obviously, you know, there are differences in flair, there are differences in shots, but when you analyse, whether it's Babar Azam, whether it's, you know, Virat Kohli, what you'll tend to find is that when the ball is being released, they have their head close to off stump, middle and off stump. They keep their hands very close to their body for balance. They tend to align their body, their feet, hips and shoulders to the bowler's stumps, so they maintain sideways to the stumps, a little bit open to where the ball comes from. They all track the ball, so where the ball starts from, but they only move to where the ball finishes, so they don't commit too early. And finally, they play from a stable base, so they're very still when they hit the ball. That gives them optimum control and best timing and power. So those are the 5 key things that your best batsmen all tend to have.
Toby, incidentally, what you're suggesting is not really anything brand new, is it? Because I think these are the things that we have heard, even though I was never a big player. These are the types of things you're saying. Keep your head still, keep your eye on the ball. So it's not really anything brand new. It's a reiteration of what we've known from before, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's keeping it in its simplest form. But I think a lot of people and coaches get lost in, cricket's a technical game, and they spend a lot of time talking about the shots. But actually, the shots aren't difficult to play if you're well balanced. So 99% of my time spent working with international players, county players now, just taking a job in New Zealand, is 99% of my time is getting them in a good position when the ball is released. Because if you're well balanced, then you can then get into any position to play the shot. Because a cut isn't difficult, a drive isn't difficult, but it is if you're not in a position to be balanced when you actually want to hit the ball. So, you know, I'm a huge believer in keeping it simple. And I think the feedback so far has been because it's the images and the drawings show where heads have fallen across, people can relate to it more than just, you know, trying to read it. You can visualize the positions that players should be in, or where they've got to a position that actually has affected the outcome of the shot.
West Indies captain Craig Brathwaite has indicated that you had a very positive impact on him, and the fact probably now that he is in fact one of the best opening batsmen in the world at the moment, if not the most attractive, certainly one of the most productive. Your thoughts on the whole question of Craig Brathwaite and his change?
Yeah, well, Craig is actually in the book, and Craig was, when we toured England in 2017, he was having quite a tough tour, especially when the ball was angling back in at him. Anything, he was getting hit on the thigh pad, getting hit on the pads. He just couldn't find any rhythm, and we spent a lot of time in the nets and, you know, before games and between games working on it. The key thing with Craig, and he's maintained it ever since, the toe of the bat was going behind his back. His hands were away from his body and the toe wasn't visible to the bowler, right? So he was okay if the ball was outside off stump because the bat could go on a straight line through the covers. But if the ball came back in, if it swung in, if it angled in or seamed in, he was then having to come across the ball, hence, you know, getting hit on the pads, hit on the thigh pad. So all we did, brought the hands in, the toe of the bat to go out over first slip or over off stump. So the toe then becomes visible to the bowler. Now, it didn't matter then if the ball was off stump, middle stump or leg stump, he could suddenly get to the ball. And he found form. The minute we changed that, he found form at the back end of that tour. If you remember the great test match at Headingley where Shai Hope got 100 in both innings, Craig got 100 in one innings, got 90 odd in the other innings. And from that day on, whenever I watch him play now, he's got his hands in and the toe of the bat goes out over first slip. And that all came about from the start of that tour, where clearly that was the issue causing his problems. And his game's kicked on since then, and he's always been a fine player. And I think he's maximising his potential now. We know he's a world-class opening batter.
Okay, we talk about Craig Brathwaite. Now let's talk about what happened just a couple of hours ago. What's going on? England were bowled out for 110 in 35 overs against India, moving ball at the Oval. Then West Indies all out for 108 in 33 overs and 5 balls against Bangladesh at Providence. The ball not moving at all. In fact, the spinners having a field day. Two completely different teams at two completely different levels of development, but two very disappointing performances. And then the teams in reply secured easy victories. What's going on?
Well, yeah, as you say, two very different matches. I mean, we know Bumrah from India with a new ball can be devastating, good pace, difficult action, swings back in late, and he can knock you over before you're half awake. So And so he did the damage yesterday against England. And with the West Indies, notoriously some of the Asian sides with good, Bangladesh playing in Guyana, it's their type of pitch, isn't it? It's what they used to back home, slow pitches. They've got good medium pacers with control. They've got excellent spinners. And I think the West Indies find it difficult to maintain a run rate by playing sensible shots. They either are going below the average par per over, or they then try and step it up and pick the wrong ball. So they can't seem to find the balance and the tempo of the innings on that type of pitch. Put them on a better, on a faster surface. I don't think they'd have a problem. But, this has been a bit of an issue for a few years now. Playing that type of side on that type of wicket is not easy for them. And then, with a low total, it's no problem at all for Bangladesh to come in and knock those runs off.
But what can we do, Toby? You've suggested a few things when you were around. You did a few things. You're no longer with us. I believe you said you're going to New Zealand. But what can be done? Because this is a perennial problem with the West Indies. The quantum of dot balls, the inability to change strike, to swap strike. What can be done?
Well, I think you've got to look at each individual player, because we know that each player has different shots and will play in a different way. You've almost got to analyse each player's innings and see where they are chewing up dot balls that could be opportunities to get singles. Are they missing out on boundary options that they're not taking? I don't think it would be one answer for the whole team. I think you'd have to pick out each player, look through it, look through the footage, sit with the player and have a clear plan and say, look, I think there's an area here where you might be missing out against this type of bowler. You've got to be more active on your feet. You've got to bat out at the crease. You might have to get outside off stump. So you have to do things to overcome whatever the challenge is on any given day. And as I say, I don't think it's easy for 1 minute playing Bangladesh on that type of surface, but you've got to find a way. It's international cricket. They are the best players and they have to find a way on that day. And that, yes, you have your team plan about, whether you're going to target certain bowlers or how you might try and, nullify a certain type of bowler. But I think individually, it's very much having a clear game plan. And in your practices leading up to those matches, you've got to work on those things so that, whatever you come up against on match day is not a shock or a surprise to you. You've got to be ready to just go and deliver it. But you've done all your thinking beforehand in many ways because you know what's coming. And we've all got the footage. There's no excuse because you know the bowlers, you know the lines they're going to bowl, you know the fields they're going to set, you know the wicket. We've played in Guyana for many years. All these players will have played in Guyana, so they know what to expect. So really, you'd like to think that preparation would take all those things into account: the opposition, the fields they'll set, and the pitches you're going to play. Right? How am I and how are we as a team going to go and deliver on this pitch? Simple as that. If you've done all of that and you've prepared 100%, like going into an exam, and the day comes and you still can't do it, at least you turn around and say, do you know what? We did everything we could. We really prepared. We revised for this exam. It just didn't come off. But, I don't know what was done in the lead up. I don't know the depth of what was done in the lead up. Only they would know that,
Okay, finally, Toby, you mentioned you're off to New Zealand. What's the plan for the new Kiwi, Toby Radford?
Yeah, well, no, I've taken a role as batting coach for the Wellington Firebirds, which is one of New Zealand's top sides. And it's where Blundell and Conway play, so it's got a few test players there. And it was just a job that was too good to turn down, really. 3-year contract in a good side. I've been to New Zealand a few times. I've really enjoyed it. The people are great. The cricket is good out there. So 3-year contract. Initially, the first year I'm going to go back and forth in blocks. I've got to convince my wife that it's a place to move to. So I'm going for 2 or 3 months, then coming back, and she'll stay in Cardiff, and then the family will come out there for a long holiday, sort of Christmas time, January time. And then maybe years 2 and 3, we all go out for a couple of years. But that's certainly the plan anyway at the moment. But looking forward to it. New challenge, new part of the world. I like traveling around, as you can see. So
it seems as if you do. Well, congratulations to you on your book, Get Into Grips. That's former West Indies batting coach Toby Radford, and you're watching Line and Length in association with C.O. Williams Construction. And we'll be right back in just a moment.
C.O. Williams introduces the newest in resurfacing solutions, an easy, affordable, and durable way to redo your commercial or residential driveway, walkway, or parking lot. There is no need to disrupt your home or have unsightly excavation with this repaving system. It is one easy application of Tough Seal that lasts up to 10 years. Give us a call to find out more about this easy, affordable, and durable resurfacing solution.
Hello and welcome back to Line and Length. And joining us now, the new West Indies women's captain, Barbadian Hayley Matthews. Hayley, welcome to Line and Length.
Hey, thanks for having me very much, Andrew.
Hayley, at 24 years old, did you ever imagine you would have become the West Indies women's captain?
I mean, I think growing up as a kid, like if I knew I wanted to become a West Indies player from the time I was about 10 years old. Cricket was always my passion. But yeah, I think the epitome of a player's game a lot of the time can be leading their country, or in our case, their region out on that field. So to be given the opportunity, like you said, especially at 24, such an early age, to be trusted with the entire team and the decisions on and off the field is definitely an honor. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Look, it's definitely a big task at hand and one that I have to learn as I go on throughout the years. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to taking up the role and doing as best as I can to continue helping the team move forward.
Of course, you would have grown up under Marissa Aguilera, first of all, and then Stephanie Taylor. I'm sure you've learned quite a bit from them that you can take with you as you move forward.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think even when the news came out, I definitely had big conversations with both of them. Obviously, appreciate all the work that they've done with the team throughout the last couple of years. And I've learned so much about them, not only as a captain or not only as a player, but as a person as well. Just the way that they express themselves, carry themselves. Marissa's a wonderful lady who's definitely a role model in West Indies cricket in the entire region, and Stephanie the same. She definitely led by example as a captain, and those are definitely traits that I'm trying to be able to take out there in my new state as captain as well. So definitely two people that I look up to and have had conversations with around this, and I know that they're both supporting me holistically.
As we move forward, obviously, before you get to captain the West Indies team, you have to captain Barbados at the Commonwealth Games against all of the big guns in international cricket. How challenging is this Commonwealth Games to be played in Birmingham for the Barbados team?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty hard for us, obviously, but at the same time, I think it's the perfect challenge for myself personally leading into a West Indies captaincy. And then as a team, look, I think we have some definite game changers within the Barbados squad. We have myself, DeAndre Dottin, the Knight Twain. Then in the bowling department, we have Shanika Bruce, Shamilia Connell, Shakira Salmon. We have all-rounder Aliyah Aline. So we do have a lot of West Indies contingents playing within our team. And look, at the end of the day, it's a T20 game. I know the other teams are definitely ranked higher and probably on paper are a lot better than us, but at the same time, I have no doubt that we go out there, we execute correctly on the day we're able to beat any team.
As you mentioned, T20, all the women have been playing, especially the West Indies women, T20 cricket and ODI cricket. But there has been some discussion at the ICC about women playing Test cricket. Do you aspire as a woman part of the West Indies women's team? What is the view among your fellow players? Do you all aspire to play Test cricket, even if it's only 4 days?
I think if you look around the world now in women's cricket, you can see a lot more Test cricket being played. There was just a Test match between England and South Africa. The Ashes happened between England and Australia. And there was also the game against India and England the other day as well. So I think Test cricket is definitely something starting to grow again in the women's game, as it was once heavily played before. And I think as West Indians, we would definitely like to be a part of it. I think it's going to help our cricket a lot. Just having to be so technically sound against the red ball, getting the opportunity to spend lots of time at the crease, even sometimes without pressure, sometimes soaking in more pressure than in T20 or ODI cricket. So I definitely do think it would be a great challenge for us and help to grow our game a lot. And I think, that's what we're all about, continuously growing our game and looking to get better. So hopefully in the near future, we're able to at least get in the Test match here and there, that we could at least get stuff kicked off.
First of all, of course, we would have to play more longer versions of the game within the Caribbean because at the moment we only play the short form. I would imagine that that is something that you as captain and the coach Courtney Walsh will be discussing as you go forward.
Yeah, I mean, there. I know for sure. At this point in time, there are a lot of plans put in place to make sure the girls are working as best as we can and as efficiently as we can over the next couple of months. Obviously, we have a tight schedule coming up. CPL, about I think another 2 series this year. We have the T20 World Cup early next year. So for sure, it's something that we look to have in sights in the near future. Obviously, right now, T20 World Cup is going to be what's mainly on our eyes is that's in about 8 months now. But yeah, I would definitely say that hopefully after that we can put some things in place to get the girls playing in the longer format of the game for sure.
The women's CPL, for the first time, we actually have 3 different franchises playing and the opportunity to play in front of what will hopefully be big crowds, etc., etc. The idea of a women's CPL, is it something that y'all have looked forward to? I mean, you especially and the other members of the West Indies team?
Yeah, for sure. Coming back from 2019, we had the exhibition games for CPL back then, and then unfortunately COVID hit and we weren't able to continuously move forward from that. But at the same time, it's really good that there's no 2022 CPL for women. I think it's definitely going to do a lot for the game in the Caribbean when it comes to women's cricket. And look, we've got a lot of talent throughout the Caribbean. I think it's definitely going to help to widen the pool of women's players that we have. And yeah, I mean, hopefully, I would imagine that the tournament is going to get better and better as the years go on. Right now, we have a couple of internationals coming over to play the tournament as well, which is really good. Get some of the younger girls playing with some of the best talent in the world from outside the Caribbean as well. So it's definitely a big initiative brought on by CWI and CPL, of course. As you will see around the world, there are lots of different franchise tournaments being played now. So it's really good to see the Caribbean hopping on board with the franchise cricket in the women's game as well.
There was some concern at the recent West Indies women's tournament, the T20 and the ODI in Guyana, about the disparity in the standard between Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad, for instance, and the other teams. What can be done to inspire more young ladies and most importantly, perhaps in the windwards and leewards, to get involved in women's cricket?
I honestly, this is my personal opinion. I think it's a case where we probably just need to get a lot more grassroots programs thrown throughout those islands, get girls started from young. I think that's when young girls are really able to fall in love with the sport. From my personal experience, I know for sure I fell in love with the sport when I was just about 7 or 8 years old. And yeah, I think like if we can have young players coming through a proper system where they not move from the basic steps and get more advanced as they go on throughout the years. We're gonna see a lot more talent coming not only from those islands but from every island as well. I think if we look through the entire Caribbean, a lot more can be done from a school level when it comes to getting girls involved. So hopefully we can get some grassroots programs thrown around the Caribbean that we can make sure we have a lot more female players from a young age coming up and then entering into more of a domestic and West Indies pool from then on.
Finally, Haley, you've been having a great time in the elite competition here, the 50 over tournament, playing for your beloved club and the club of your father, Mike Pickwick. Tell us a bit about playing against the guys on Sundays in the ODI tournament here in Barbados.
Yeah, I think growing up, my entire primary school and then secondary school life as well, I played against the boys the entire time, and I always said that I think playing against the boys was the best thing I could have done. Obviously, everyone's grown up and all the boys are no men. But yeah, I played against the same guys that I grew up playing against. I think this weekend, I played against the likes of Akeem Jordan, Jerome Jones, and I remember going to school playing under 19 cricket, and Akeem was at Ellerslie and Jerome was at Foundational with Joffre. Even my brother I played against this weekend, and we just grew up outside in the backyard playing cricket. So yeah, it's been a really good experience. I definitely like it because it helps to challenge my game a lot. Obviously the guys are bowling a lot quicker. I got to watch the ball a lot harder. So yeah, it's a really good challenge for me, and yeah, I'm just hoping to continue to grow from it even more now.
Okay, thank you so much. That's the new West Indies women's captain, Barbadian Haley Matthews, and you're watching Line and Length, and we'll be right back.
You're watching DBS.